Before she became the dazzling pop goddess we all know today, before the chart-topping hits, the legendary stage shows, and even the reinvention that stunned the world, Kylie Minogue was just a quiet little girl with a big secret. But that secret wasn't revealed in a concert hall or a Hollywood red carpet. No, it began on a ship bound for Australia. In 1959, a vessel named the Fairsea departed England, carrying not just passengers, but future icons. Among them, three brothers destined to become the Bee Gees.
How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love?
And a young girl named Carol Ann. She had no idea that in this new land, she would give birth to a daughter who would redefine pop stardom. That daughter? Kylie Minogue. But what does her name really mean? And why did no one, not even her own family, believe she'd become a global sensation? Keep watching, because Kylie's early life holds a string of clues that would shape her destiny. Kylie Ann Minogue was born on May 28, 1968, in Melbourne, Australia. She was the eldest of three children in a seemingly ordinary household. Her father, Ronald Minogue, was a reserved, numbers-driven accountant. Her mother, Carol Ann, in contrast, was lively, outgoing, a former dancer with creativity in her veins. But Kylie? She was quiet, gentle, timid. While other kids ran wild, Kylie often stayed indoors, listening to ABBA or Olivia Newton-John, sewing clothes for her dolls, or escaping into books. She wasn't the kind of child you'd expect to become a stage dominator, and yet, something was brewing inside her. And here's a curious twist. Her name, Kylie, isn't just pretty. In an indigenous Australian dialect, it means boomerang, a symbol of return, resilience, a perfect metaphor for a woman who would constantly bounce back again and again against all odds. But in school, she was nearly invisible. She struggled to make friends. She felt safer in the shadows than in the spotlight. So how did this shy, soft-spoken girl transform into the shimmering icon of global pop? It all started with one push from someone very unexpected. Stick around to find out who pushed Kylie into the spotlight and why she almost said no. It was 1978. Kylie was just 10 years old, a shy child still tucked into the corners of her own quiet world. But her aunt, her spirited, determined aunt named Susan, saw something no one else had noticed. Maybe it was potential. Maybe it was just a gut feeling. Whatever it was, she nudged Kylie to audition for a television role in a show called The Sullivans. Kylie resisted. Acting? On TV? It terrified her. But Susan insisted. And so, reluctantly, Kylie went. She had no expectations, no dreams of fame, just nerves. And then, she got the part. It was a tiny role, barely a blip in the grand scheme of television. But something changed. Something clicked. By 1986, everything shifted. Kylie, now 18, was cast in a new soap opera called Neighbours. She played Charlene, a strong, tomboyish schoolgirl turned mechanic. But it wasn't just her character that caught attention. It was her on-screen romance with a character named Scott, played by none other than Jason Donovan. Their chemistry, electric, their storyline, addictive, and their wedding episode, a cultural moment. When Charlene and Scott said, "I do," more than 20 million people tuned in, just in the UK. It was one of the biggest television moments of the decade, turning both Kylie and Jason into overnight sensations. Kylie was now a national treasure in 2 countries, but she still felt like something was missing. Acting was exciting, but there was another passion stirring inside her. She'd always loved to sing, quietly, privately. But what if she dared to step out of her comfort zone again? One fateful charity event would give her that chance, and what happened on that stage would launch an entirely new chapter of her life. Want to know which song changed everything for her? Keep watching. It was early 1987. Kylie Minogue, now 19, stepped onto a small stage during a charity event organized by her Neighbours castmates. The event was simple, intimate, nothing glamorous, but she had decided to sing, a rare move, and one that would define everything that followed. Her song choice? The Loco-Motion, a classic by Little Ava.
So come on, do the locomotion with me. You gotta swing.
She had practiced it after a backstage friend, Greg Petherick, insisted the song fit her voice perfectly. When Kylie sang, the room lit up. Cheers, applause, something electric was in the air. Greg wasn't just giving her a song suggestion, he saw potential. He convinced Kylie to record a demo of the Loco-Motion, then began knocking on the doors of record labels. Most weren't sold on her singing, yet they only saw a pretty face from TV. But one label took the gamble. On July 13th, 1987, Kylie released her first single, The Loco-Motion. What happened next? No one expected, not even Kylie herself. This wasn't just a good debut, it was record-breaking. Want to know how high it soared and what it unlocked for her career? Let's just say Australia would never look at her the same way again. Find out in the next chapter. July 1987. The Loco-Motion hit the airwaves. It didn't just land, it exploded. The single rocketed to #1 in Australia and held the top spot for 8 weeks. It became the highest-selling single of the entire 1980s in the country. Internationally, it climbed to #2 in the UK and #3 on the US Billboard charts. For a debut song from a TV actress, it was unheard of, but success came with pressure. The label wasn't ready. They hadn't prepared a follow-up, so they shipped Kylie off to London to work with Stock Aitken Waterman, the legendary British production trio behind countless hits. What happened next was almost comical. They forgot about her. Kylie waited 4 days without a single studio appointment. On the 5th day, furious and ready to fly back home, she confronted the team. Embarrassed, they scrambled to write her a song on the spot. In just 40 minutes, they came up with I Should Be So Lucky. She recorded it in one take. It became another massive hit. But what did Kylie really think about being treated like a disposable product? And would she keep letting others shape her sound? Or would she start to take control? Don't miss what happens next, because Kylie was about to flip the script. By the end of 1988, Kylie had released her debut album, simply titled Kylie. It wasn't just successful, it was a cultural phenomenon. The album spun out multiple hits, from The Loco-Motion and I Should Be So Lucky to Je ne sais pas pourquoi. Her voice, youthful and playful, became a staple of 80s pop. She was only 20 years old and already an international superstar. But critics weren't kind. Some called her a puppet, molded by producers. Others dismissed her as a flash in the pan. Kylie knew it. She felt it. And that's when she decided she wouldn't just be the voice. She wanted to be the mind behind the music. Her second album, Enjoy Yourself, came out in 1989, and again, the UK loved it. 2 #1 hits, and 2 more in the top 10. But Kylie was itching for change. Her heart wasn't fully in the bubblegum formula anymore, and neither was her personal life. That same year, she fell into a passionate, chaotic relationship with Michael Hutchence, the enigmatic frontman of INXS.
We could live for 1,000 years.
He was wild, magnetic, dangerous, everything she wasn't. He changed her life. But how far did he take her from the girl next door image? And would this new, edgier Kylie survive the spotlight? You're about to find out. Don't blink. Kylie and Michael Hutchence's relationship became tabloid gold. The pop princess and the rock rebel, it was irresistible. But behind the flashbulbs and magazine covers, their love story was anything but smooth. Kylie later revealed that Michael introduced her to a world she never knew. Drugs, intense passion, emotional highs, and devastating lows. She said he opened her eyes to her own sexuality and chaos. Their love burned bright for 3 years. And when it ended, Kylie was different, stronger, bolder, and hungry to express a new version of herself. In 1989, she starred in her first film, The Delinquents, a romantic drama where she earned praise for her acting, breaking free from her TV roots. But her biggest rebellion came with her third album, Rhythm of Love, in 1990. For the first time, she demanded that her own songs be included. She challenged Stock Aitken Waterman's control, and she unveiled a more mature, sensual image. The result? Mixed reviews. Only 2 songs broke into the UK top 20, and none charted in the US. But Kylie wasn't backing down. She was determined to evolve, even if the world wasn't ready. Would the gamble pay off? Or was Kylie risking everything she had built? Stick around, because her boldest decisions were still to come. In 1991, Kylie dropped her 4th studio album, Let's Get To It. This time, even with the sexy visuals and boundary-pushing ideas, the magic didn't strike. None of the singles cracked the UK top 10, and in the US, the album barely registered. Her label? They took the hint. In 1992, they chose not to renew her contract. Just like that, Kylie Minogue, the same woman who once ruled the charts, was considered done. But Kylie didn't flinch. She signed with a new label and, in 1994, released a self-titled album, Kylie Minogue. It was fresh, creative, and deeply personal. The hit single, Confide in Me, marked a major turning point. Darker, edgier, more experimental. In Australia, it was #1 for a month. In the UK, #2. It was the signal that Kylie wasn't finished, not by a long shot. And yet, controversy followed her to the big screen. That same year, she starred in the film Street Fighter alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme. The movie bombed critically, and Kylie was savaged for her performance. Some critics even labeled her the worst actress in the world. But was that fair? And what really happened behind the scenes with Van Damme? Let's just say, the rumors weren't just about bad reviews. While tabloids tore into her acting skills, Kylie found herself caught in another storm, this time romantic. During the filming of Street Fighter, she and Jean-Claude Van Damme reportedly had an affair. Neither of them denied it. As public interest in her personal life soared, Kylie also found support in family, especially from her younger sister, Dannii Minogue. Most people don't realize Dannii is a star in her own right. A singer, TV personality, actress, and fashion designer, Dannii built her career mainly in Australia. Though their fame took different paths, the sisters have always stood by each other. But back in the music world, Kylie was facing her biggest test yet. In 1997, she released Impossible Princess, her most experimental album. She dived into electronic, trip-hop, and indie rock. The result? Commercial failure. Critics were confused. Longtime fans were unsure. It became the worst-selling album of her career. And then, tragedy struck. Michael Hutchence, her former lover, was found dead in a hotel room in Sydney. Suicide. He was just 37. Rumors swirled that he had called Kylie shortly before his death, but she never picked up. How did this moment reshape her and her music? In the face of loss, Kylie had a decision to make. Would she fade or rise again? The answer was coming, and it would stun the world. After years of battling the press, heartbreak, and industry doubts, Kylie took a deep breath and turned back to what made her shine: pop music. In September 2000, she released Light Years, a vibrant dance-pop record filled with glitz, fun, and infectious beats. It was a full-circle moment, Kylie returning to the genre that first embraced her, but this time with confidence and command. The album was a hit. 4 songs stormed into the UK top 10. Kylie wasn't just back, she was thriving, but it was her next move that would make history. In October 2001, Kylie released Fever. The lead single, Can't Get You Out of My Head. The song dominated the world. It hit #1 in over 40 countries. It became the defining anthem of her career. The music video, the robotic dance, the futuristic fashion, everything about it was iconic. Even in the US, a market that had long resisted her, Kylie broke through, landing in the top 10. But here's the twist. While everyone celebrated her return, few knew how hard she had fought to reclaim her throne. This wasn't luck, it was resilience, a lesson in reinvention. What happened when the lights dimmed again? Kylie wasn't done dancing, but fate had another challenge waiting just around the corner. In 2005, at the height of her resurgence, Kylie received devastating news. She had breast cancer. She was only 36. She immediately canceled her world tour, underwent surgery, and began chemotherapy. Fans around the globe rallied behind her. The woman who had danced through heartbreak, rejection, and reinvention was now fighting for her life. And she did it with grace. 2 years later, in 2007, she returned with her 10th studio album, X. Songs like Two Hearts Wow landed in the UK top 5, proving she was still a force in pop. Her 2010 album Aphrodite soared as well. All the Lovers climbed to #3 in the UK.
All the lovers that have gone before.
And the album reaffirmed her place among the greats. But even after her triumphant return to music, Kylie was never one to stand still. She launched lingerie lines, wrote children's books, starred in theater, created her own wine label, and even released a Barbie doll in her image, unveiled on International Women's Day in 2024. Still, there were emotional battles behind the glitz. She had loved many, but never had children. In a 2024 interview, she opened up about her regrets, about the what-ifs. What did she say? And how does Kylie find peace with the life she's built? The final chapter reveals the answer. So, what did Kylie say about the children she never had? In a deeply personal interview from 2024, Kylie Minogue, now 56, shared, "I can't say I don't have regrets, but I would struggle to go forward if I considered it a true regret. I try to be as philosophical as I can. You have to accept where you are and keep moving." That's Kylie, resilient, thoughtful, unshaken by the storms of the past. Today, she continues to live in Melbourne, her hometown. But she isn't just living, she's thriving, recording, performing, doing television, launching new products, and continuing to inspire generations of artists and fans alike. She's sold over 80 million records. She's shaped pop music across 4 decades. She's become a style icon, a survivor, and a symbol of reinvention. And yes, she even won a legal battle against Kylie Jenner for the rights to the name Kylie, proving that she's more than a pop star. She's a brand, a fighter, and a woman who will never let anyone define her legacy but herself. So now, knowing all that, what do you really think of Kylie Minogue? Is she the lucky girl who made it big, or the underestimated powerhouse who built an empire on her own terms? Let us know in the comments. And stay tuned, because in the world of legends, Kylie Minogue's story is far from over.